Hey everyone, I'm Jen Mayer with this week's Midweek Moment or Small Group Extra, depending on when you're watching it. And this week was the gospel where the people went out in the desert to hear John the Baptist preach and maybe get baptized. And it kind of provoked Father Mike to ask the question, where would you go to find God? And he suggested two answers. One was church, another was kind of out in nature. And I thought, well, yeah, both of those are my answer, and probably not my only answer. And so I was trying to figure out what my primary answer would be when my phone very helpfully rang, and my friend Joanne, who I like to hang out with, called and said, "Hey, I haven't seen you in a while. You want to get together?" And all of a sudden, I figured out what the answer to my question was about where do you go to find God? And the answer is dependent on the fact that that God or Jesus is not a single entity that, like you go and you open the door and there he is, and then you close the door and he's gone. It's that God is my friend, Jesus is my friend, and I'm in relationship. And so my answer to where do I go to find God is as varied as the moment I am in that relationship. So if I need something from my friend Joanne, I call her and say, "Hey, where are you?" If I need something from God, I pray. And I can do that, like having my cell phone with me 24/7. I can pray 24/7. Doesn't matter where I am. I just need to reach out. If I want to invest in the relationship, enjoy spending time together, I generally do that by making plans. So I'll call, as we just did, "Hey, do you want to get together in non-COVID times? Do you want to have dinner? Do you want to go see a movie? Do you want to, go do something?" Right now it's primarily, do you want to go outside and walk and spend some time outdoors? Um, if I want to spend time with Jesus, it tends to again be doing things that I enjoy doing. So it could be swimming laps, it could be out hiking, it could be kayaking out on the water, it could be walking, it could be doing some crafty things, throwing pottery, any of those things that like doing and I find recreational, I can find God in if I'm just open to the notion of inviting him in. Um, so if my friend Joanne needs a favor, she might call me and I'll say, "Well, where do I need to be and when?" Provided it's a somewhat reasonable request. Lots of times, if God needs something from me, I get this sense that, like, wow, that's a strange request. I should probably pay attention to it. So somebody called me one day and said, "Hey, can you pick me up and drive me to my job interview in Laurel and bring me home? Because I'm kind of sick and I don't want to waste all my energy on driving and not have any for the interview." And I thought that's kind of odd, but yeah. Or somebody said, "Hey, I need to move by tomorrow. Can you help?" Or like all of these kind of very odd requests. I almost always can figure out are associated with God, and so go, "Yeah, where do you need to be?" And I will do it. Um, if I need advice, I would call and, sit on the phone for hours with her and kind of walk through the situation and the details and go, "What do you think?" If I need that sort of guidance in my life, um, I would pray, but I would also then have some time for listening because you don't just talk when you need advice, you also listen. And so I would turn to scripture and or music because I find that I often hear a word or phrase in there that addresses what I've been struggling with. Um, and the last is, in every relationship, there are times when you need to have difficult conversations when somebody's let you down or you've let them down, and you need to get that out in the open and move past it. And so those are almost always in-person conversations with Joanne or whomever. And so in those parts of my relationship with Jesus, that's when I end up looking for and participating in the sacrament of reconciliation. So my answer to where do I go to find God depends on the moment and the need and the desire. And it's not one answer, it's a whole bunch of answers. Certainly, church is part of that, but it's not the entirety of the answer. That's kind of the um, everyday part of the answer, and then the other parts fill out the answer. So for you, um, where do you go to seek God, and is it dependent on what you need at the moment?